Hey, it's Dashia D.
And it's JStan.
And welcome back to In Retrospect Podcast. We look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Bring you laughs, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and join the convo. So today we have a very special guest with us. When you guys go on social media, especially TikTok, there are constantly videos about astrology, who's the most toxic, who's well-liked, all sorts of things. And so we decided to invite an astrologer onto the show because we felt like he would know much better than we would.
What's up, y'all? My name is Josh, or online, I go by JLife20. That's my TikTok and Instagram. My only TikTok and Instagram is JLife20. No periods, underscores, or anything, because I have a lot of fake pages out there.
I noticed that.
Yes. So I'm an astrologer, tarot reader, spiritualist, and just somebody that is here to just give off great energy in the universe. Amen.
Which is much needed, especially in this climate. Okay, so one of the biggest questions I had was, how accurate is a person's sign, truly? Because a lot of times people say, well, you act like this or you act like that. But then in reality, a lot of us match up with certain qualities regardless of what sign we fall under.
It depends. This is why there's a thing called your big three, because you have your sun, moon, and rising. So you may be a Taurus. Yes, you're born a Taurus, so you're going to take on certain Taurus qualities. But then I would hear people be like, you may be a Taurus sun, but your moon is in Aries. So some people feel like, oh, I feel more like an Aries, or your rising may be in Sagittarius. Oh, I feel more like a Sag. So it really depends on, you're going to feel more like the other. You're either going to feel more like your sun, your rising, or your moon. To me, I think the moon is the most important because the moon represents our emotions and how we express ourselves emotionally. So we are all emotional human beings. So I feel like when we are angry, happy, sad, high, drunk, horny, we're expressing ourselves like our moon sign.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the person. You know, I'm a Pisces, but I have a Sagittarius moon. So sometimes I feel like when I am, smoking my blunt and, in my other zone.
Oh, that's fine.
I feel more like
that's
a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
More than I feel like a Pisces. Or then sometimes when I'm around other people, I feel like my Libra rising. So where I'm more sociable, I'm trying to be more kind, I'm trying to be more relaxed. So it really depends on the person and if you know your sun, moon, or rising.
I guess that makes sense because both Justin and I are Tauruses, but we act differently in certain ways. So I know that
trying to say. I mean, go ahead, do your thing. I want to see what you're about to go with this.
Well, I'm saying I think my moon sign is a Pisces. Right. So I feel like I'm more emotional than the average Taurus, but I feel like I can mask it in public because I am a Taurus, if that makes sense.
Now, Lord, it goes deep because, well, to me,
we going in.
I think there's a difference. There's a difference between men and women when it pertains to whatever zodiac sign.
Yeah, go ahead, break it down.
I did a video like that 2 years ago or last year, to where I said it also depends on what month you're born in as well, because a May Taurus may not act like an April Taurus. So I feel like it depends on what month you're born in. And then I feel like, because even with Capricorns, when I look at Capricorn men and women, the Capricorn women seem more serious to me. Like I think of women like Michelle Obama, or I think Issa Rae is also like a Capricorn. But then when you look at the males, they seem a little more goofier and more out there. I also, now, even though y'all both are Taurus, this is when it kind of goes deeper into the houses in your birth chart. Because
I can't tell you that. I don't even know what that is yet.
Right. There's a thing in your birth chart called your houses. It basically represents the certain areas in your life. So you may be a Taurus, but you may have your Taurus sun in the 12th house, which is the Pisces household. So you may feel more emotional. Whereas he may have his Taurus sun in the 3rd house, which is the Gemini household. So he may be more talkative, more outgoing, and more fun. When people first meet y'all, they're not meeting your Taurus sun, they're meeting your rising sign. So if you have a Leo rising but a Taurus sun, people are going to see you as more fun. They're going to see you as more outgoing because Leo is ruled by the sun and the sun shines. So you're going to be more
Yeah.
outspoken and more fun and more vibrant. People are going to love your energy. Whereas she may have a Scorpio.
I'm a Gemini rising.
Oh, you're a Gemini rising. So you're more talkative. You may be more sociable, while he's more like, okay, I'm talkative and sociable, but I also like to, and especially with you being a man, you gonna like the ego. You may more like to shine. You may more like to be a little more confident or show out. You like to show off a little. You know, like Drake. Drake is a Leo rising. So, you know, they come off with this king type of energy, like, you know, not like I'm better than anybody, but they come off with like, you know, don't test me, don't try me. Because, you know, that's that Leo rising energy. But yeah, your rising sign really plays a part when it pertains to how you come off to people, because that's what they're first meeting when they first see you.
Right.
I was gonna say, so to clarify, your rising sign is like the mask that people meet when they first are like meet you for the first time. But as they dig deeper and get to know you, like at the core of you is more like your moon, like your emotions. And then
Yeah,
like,
let's
personality.
rephrase that. Let's rephrase that. You said mask. Okay. I still feel like it is you. Let's say an onion. Let's use an onion. It's a layer of you.
Right.
I like that.
You're definitely an onion. You got layers.
I like that. That's how it is. Like, I like to explain it like when you're walking up to somebody's house, you're gonna have a screen door. That screen door is your rising sign. That's how you're coming off to people when they first meet you. That screen door, you know, oh, this screen door is big. This screen door is small. It's strong. It's weak. You know, that's how they kind of are viewing you. But then you open that screen door, and then there go your sun. That's your sun right there, which is, you know, Taurus. But then the inside of the house is the moon. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important, and that's what's going to take up the biggest space, because as they peel those onion layers back, they get to see more about who you are as an individual. So, you know, that's why even when there's a new moon or there's a full moon or anything happening in the sky with the planets, people say, look at your rising sign, because your rising sign is basically who you are rising to be, basically. So you're rising to be like you're a Leo rising, or she's a Gemini rising. So that's what you're constantly rising to be. So your rising sign plays an important part in your chart, because that's how you're going to come off to people, but that's also how you're going to come off and work out through life, go through life.
I agree. I do come off a little intense at times, and I don't even really be trying to be intense.
That's how it is. That's how it is. And then your sun is basically your ego. You know, your ego sometimes, you know, your rising is who you're rising to be. That's how you're going to come off. But when it pertains to the ego, then that's your sun. And then when it pertains to your emotions, then that's when it goes into your moon. Do y'all know your moon signs?
I'm a Pisces moon.
Pisces moon, okay.
I can't tell you. I just know when I was born, the specific time, all that.
This is Virgo, right?
It might be. I know I'm May 9th. I was born May 9th, 1995 at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's all Justin knows.
I think his was Virgo. I think his is Virgo. I know it's like another Earth, because he's not very expressive of his emotions.
Now, with you having a Pisces moon,
yeah,
I don't want to get too personal, but
go ahead. That's what we like. We need that. You do what you got to do. It's a safe space.
When it pertains to your mom, with you having a Pisces moon, did you know your mom?
Yeah.
Was she in your life?
Yeah.
Did she have any type of addictions?
No, but I will say that I am way more sensitive than she is. So my mama is a Leo and a Taurus moon, I believe. So like the way we handle our emotions are very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was asking those questions because in astrology, your sun represents the father and the moon represents your mom. So it basically how you view, it's basically, you know, whatever your sun sign is how you kind of view your father, and whatever your moon sign is how you view your mother. So in astrology, Pisces is all about creativity, arts, like, you know, things that deal with acting, music, but it also deals with addictions. It deals with isolation. It deals with in and out behavior. It deals with like being there when I feel like being there. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, with your sun in Taurus, my dad is a Taurus as well.
Okay.
With a Pisces moon. And for instance, I'm a Pisces sun. Like I said, the sun represents the father. My dad, he had addictions to certain drugs and stuff. So it kind of, whatever your sun sign is or your moon sign, it can also represent the qualities of your parents as well.
Mine is flopped. So what you described when you asked about my mom, I feel like that's more my dad. And my mom is probably more of like dependable, things like that. Like she's more of a Taurus.
I hear that sometimes. So I hear sometimes it's flop too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Justin, like my head is spinning.
And how did y'all
really
be the fact that y'all both are Taurus? Well, you said yours is flop. So Justin, how did you view your dad?
My dad's really intense. Not all the time, but he's pretty, easy to talk to. My mother is extremely intense, or used to be, but the older you get, the bark of that dog starts to wind down a little bit. But I definitely revere both of my parents.
Did you have to like raise yourself?
Nah.
Was she critical?
Yeah.
It's like,
was she like on you a lot? Like you gotta get good grades, or
Yeah, all that. Say it again.
So you may be because she said you was a Virgo moon. So I'm trying to see which earth sign it could be. But so when you told me she was like critical, that's Virgo energy. So you definitely probably could be like a Virgo moon.
Yeah. My mother would be like, "Oh, that's sloppy. Crumble the paper up. Do it again."
Yeah. Yeah, that's Virgo energy.
Do it again. I'm like, excuse me?
I have a working understanding of like some differences between the elements. So like earth, air, water, and fire. Like I know the stereotypes. Water is emotional, air's playful, fire's sassy. But that's like, what would you say is the overall difference between them?
I mean, when you look at fire signs, they're a little more independent. They're a little more outgoing, and it's fire. So when that flame is burning, it's hot. They don't care about who they hurt or what they say or what they do. They're gonna go after what they want without feeling like they have to listen to anybody. Fire signs can be very much, the thing about it is a lot of people say water signs are emotional, but fire signs can be just as emotional as well. So it can be really crazy when you think about it. That's fire sign energy for you. They're very much just like outgoing, but they're very spontaneous and fun. But when it's time to kind of get them together and tame that fire, that's when issues start happening. Now they want to fight. Now they want to explode. Now they have temper tantrums. So fire signs, you have to learn how to work with them in a way, because if you don't, they'll let their fire overflame, and then it's just like, it's too much. But fire signs, I think, are really cool. I think with me having a fire moon, I definitely take on a lot of fire energy. I always knew I reacted with my emotions in a temper tantrum type of way, but I never knew until I dove into astrology and I realized that, damn, I express my emotions as a fire sign. So sometimes you have to learn how to tame that fire in ways to work with your emotions. Now, water signs are very intuitive and they're sensitive, but they can be very manipulative as well, especially if they have their moon somebody has their moon in a water sign, because they know how to really manipulate somebody's emotions to get what they want. That's a water sign for you. Water signs can be very caring, nurturing, taken care of, but every fire sign, every water sign, air sign, earth sign, they all flow a different way. So Scorpio is like that dark, murky water, but it's very intense water. Whereas that Cancer water is going to flow, but it's like, okay, I'm flowing to protect you. And then Pisces water is just doing what the hell it want to do.
Just choppy water.
Right? It's just going to do what the hell it want to do. So it's just crazy when it pertains to that. So air signs are very sociable and outgoing, but I feel like the least emotional signs are the air and earth signs, because they kind of just react with their emotions in a way to where it's just like they're going to want to talk about it or they're going to want to take action to do something. Air signs are very sociable, fun, outgoing, curious, but those are some flirtatious people right there, and they know how to get what they want as well. That's Aries. No, I'm sorry, that's Libras, Aquarius, and Geminis. Now, one thing about them, you have to really know, you really have to tap into their mental. You really have to tap into like,
yeah, you got to get in there. Go ahead.
They like to be mentally fucked more than physically. If they're not mentally feeling you, they're not going to give you the time of day. That's just how air energy is.
Hard time with Libras.
Huh?
I said I have a hard time with Libras. I say this because speaking on what you said, so I think that we tend to have very great conversations about like social issues, conspiracy theories, just randomness, right? But when it comes to them tapping into like their more vulnerable side, nothing. And I think that, I guess as a Pisces moon, I need that emotional connection to feel connected to you. They need to be stimulated up here. I need both. I can't take one over the other. So I tend to run into a brick wall with Libras because I can't do it.
Yeah, Libras is all I attract. I don't know what it is. I don't even be trying. For real. Every time.
Huh?
I'm still trying to figure it out too, because I have a boyfriend and he has a Sagittarius sun, but a Libra rising and a Libra moon. So he's like a lot of Libra energy. So, and I'm a fire moon. So he wants to talk and he want to communicate, and I want to fight. I want to react. I want to explode. So it's like it's hard sometimes. I realize to kind of get through to Libras. A lot of people think, Libras are cool, flirtatious, and understandable. But in astrology, there's a thing called sister signs. So where it's like the same sign, it's like the same pillow, but different sides. Their sister sign is Aries. So Libras can be very stuck up sometimes. They can be very much, my way or the highway. And a lot of people don't see that side of Libras, which can be very hard. Because it's like, they're all about making sure that their scales is balanced. And if they feel like you're tipping their scales, they're out. And I know lastly, with the earth signs, with Taurus, Virgos, and Capricorns, those are the ones that, Taurus, Virgos, and Capricorns, I like earth signs. I do. A lot of people think earth signs are boring. Some people think earth signs really are like the parents of the zodiac. Those are the ones that's going to want to build and take care of and make sure that your finances are good and make sure that you have things in order. It's like the earth signs are here to build. The fire signs are here to create and do. The air signs are here to flow, and then the water signs are here to feel and give the emotions out. But I think earth signs are really cool. You just have to know which earth sign to really dive into. For me, I don't really connect well with Virgos, but throughout life, I've always connected well with Capricorns and Taurus people, especially my dad being a Taurus. So to me, Taurus people are laid back and chill. Just give them whatever their comfort foods are or whatever they want. They like you. They just chill. So, I think earth signs are cool. You just have to know which sign to give your energy to.
Justin had said that he attracts Libras, and as he knows, I always attract Scorpios. Yeah. So my question was going to be, is there a reason for that? Like, is it because of our moon signs that we keep attracting the same people, or not people, but, element?
Right? Yeah. If you dive into your birth chart, there's a planet called Venus. Venus basically represents love and the type of style, how we like to love. So usually whatever sign you have on your Venus usually could be the sign that you attract a lot. And you could also get along with a lot. Either you get along with them or you don't get along with them, but that's also a sign that you can attract a lot. Another indication is your 7th house. In astrology, the 7th house represents relationships and marriage. So whatever sign you have on that house is what you can also attract as well. So I have Aries on my 7th house. So the first person I ever talked to or dated was an Aries. My Venus is in Capricorn. I never talked to any Capricorn, but I connect really well with Capricorns. I would also say Chiron. My Chiron is in Scorpio, and I know throughout my life, I've always attracted Scorpios. So Chiron represents your wounded healer. So being the fact that I've always attracted Scorpios, even though I don't like them, I think they're supposed to be in my specific reason. So it's really,
I said, I understand. I have a love-hate relationship with them.
Oh yeah. I tried 3 of them. Yeah.
We cool.
I don't know, Mike. You said Chiron?
Yeah, Chiron. It's Chiron. Chiron. It's basically called your wounded healer. It's where your insecurities lie. So whatever sign you have on your Chiron, even if you don't attract that partner, say if you have Cancer as your Chiron, when you get around other Cancer people, you may feel either insecure, you may not like them, you may feel like they, you have bad energy around them because you're insecure. Like something about Cancer energy is what you don't have. So it's like you have to have that in your life so you can understand yourself a little better. So I say some of the indications that you can look in your birth chart to see why you keep attracting the same sign is your Venus, your 7th house, your 5th house as well. Your fifth house represents partners and sexual partners. And your 8th house. Your 8th house represents intimacy. So look at whatever elements and sign you have on your 5th, your 7th, your 8th, your Chiron, and your Venus.
Check your houses. Everybody, please check your houses. So, but like, what would you say to the person who is adamant that this stuff doesn't mean nothing? It doesn't define me. Y'all talk about this, that, and the third in these houses. That's not who I am. What would you say to that person?
Nothing. I just block them. I don't have time for that. I don't, because it's like I don't have time for ignorant people. It's just like, okay, like I get it. You probably think everything is cliche or whatever, but dive into it. Try to at least understand it. Go talk to an astrologer or go look up certain things about your birth chart, and certain things will align and certain things will add up. And then sometimes even in your birth chart, there may be an astrologer that may say something and you may not understand it there, or may feel like that may not happen to you. And that's just because you're not at that stage yet to see it. So with astrology is a never ending learning cycle. You're going to always continue to keep learning and growing and processing. So it's just like, if you're not willing to dive into knowing who you are, figuring out, why you act the way you act, why you speak the way you speak, then it's just like, what's the point of even trying to communicate with that person? Just move on, just block them, let them go.
I don't know.
So he's smart though. He's smart.
I was about to say, to add to that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard through the grapevine that people who are like in the top 1% financially, they go to astrologers to see when's the best time to go into certain stocks, to like invest in certain things. I heard that that's a thing. Yeah,
no, that's a real thing.
No,
I can confirm that's a real thing.
Okay.
Like for real, they are really in tune with everything. And the main thing is that that really hurts a lot of folks is that they always, the notion is that they don't have the money, so they feel as though they can't have access to a lot of the things that are out there, which is true to a certain extent. But then you don't look into your community possibly where somebody may be offering that said service for an affordable rate. And who knows, if you were to reach out to said person, they may be able to help you. But folks don't do that because folks don't like talking to people. Folks don't trust people nowadays. It's become a very transactional world. But I will say this, because I forgot what podcast I was watching, but the fella made a great point. He said, matter of fact, it was Ghost. He was on the Pivot podcast. Amar, I can't remember his name. I don't want to tear it up. But Ghost, I call him Ghost. Anywho, he said that a lot of people don't realize that folks with money, they deal with their problems by going to a therapist, laying down, paying that therapist to help them work through their problems. Somebody that doesn't have money to pay for that stuff or doesn't have access to that, they got to figure it out.
Right.
So when people get this money, they consult folks. They reach into any and every corner for any type of edge that they can find. It's questions that needs to be in.
I notice a lot, and when it pertains to stuff like this, a lot of men are not into this. I get a lot of females and a lot of women that are into, astrology, spirituality, which is dope. But I love when I see a male follow me or book a service with me, because it's like those be the main ones closed off from. And I'm like, why are men so closed off to, I guess, just the spiritual world? I don't know. I don't know if they just think everything is fake, and especially with these billionaires and stuff, they definitely have astrologers. They definitely have people that they go to, because in astrology, there's a thing called transits. And with transits, you basically look at your transit to see when you should do something. So for instance, if you have the 2nd house represents finances, it represents money. Jupiter is a planet of good luck and good fortune. So if you have Jupiter currently transiting in your 2nd house, that would be a great time for you to go invest in something, or go play the lotto, or go take a risk and go gamble something. It's all about what's going on in the sky.
Go get you some money.
Right. I know SZA, the artist SZA, she has an astrologer on Twitter. And I don't know if y'all know that song called "I Hate You" that she released. She released that during the full moon. It was a full moon, and she has an astrologer, which is a well-known girl on Twitter. And she went to the astrologist. She was like, "When should I release this?" And she said, "Release it under the full moon, because the full moon is all about releasing." So when she released it, that became one of her most popular songs.
Right. And I wanted to touch on the question that you asked earlier,
Okay.
when you said you were trying to understand as far as men not being open to, astrology and a bunch of other things when it comes to like the spiritual world in a sense. It's because that men from birth are raised to like, oh, you hurt, suck it up. Something wrong, everybody got problems. And then from there, it just creates a whole chain of numbness until you run into the right people. Or if you got parents, like my parents were aware of like express your feelings, if you feel how you feel, but definitely don't keep it pinned up because nothing good comes from it. Now, everybody doesn't have people in their lives to help them navigate their emotions or how to go about it. People don't realize like when kids go to school, they're gone for most of the day and then their parents will get them, besides summertime sometimes. But when they go into these environments, somebody will fall and they'll be like, oh, you this, that, and the third because you didn't, do what you need to do. Because say, for instance, you fall down, you start crying. Why are you crying? I fell down. You shouldn't cry. Oh, you failed that test? You feel sad about that? Man, you shouldn't be feeling nothing. I failed that test. It's like, what?
But that's a whole
that person should care.
A whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother, because
that's not even, it is.
That's just, men have a lot of healing too. Because it's not even that. It's like some men are really, a lot of heterosexual men are afraid to express their emotions. And it's just like, what is going on? It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to dive into something without you thinking it's feminine.
But we're going to play a game now called Name That Sign. Name that sign.
I'll give you a statement and then you'll tell us, or you'll tell the audience which zodiac sign best matches that statement. So who's most likely to get a divorce less than a week into their marriage?
That would be a Libra.
Okay, you did say they're indecisive. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lord. All righty. Who would be most likely to get away with murder?
That would be a Virgo. or a Capricorn. Ooh. What you said about the marriage one. Libras are very indecisive and sometimes they don't know what they want. They're very flaky in and out.
Yeah.
I would say another sign as well would be Scorpio for that one. Because Scorpios are just like, Lord, I don't know who would want to marry a Scorpio. But the other one, when it pertains to getting away, Virgos are very observant. They pay attention to details. They make sure that they have all their shit together before they do something. And I would say the same for Capricorns. They're very smart. They're more logical, and they make sure they have things planned out before they take action. So yes.
Who's most likely to be El Chapo's right-hand man? Your eyes.
A Scorpio. Scorpios are very loyal to the people that they trust and love.
Okay.
Yes.
Regardless
Alrighty.
of what
I would say Scorpios and Aries, most definitely. Yeah.
Who's most likely to be a social media influencer?
That would be Leo. Leos is ruled by the sun. Leos love shining. They love the spotlight. That would be a Libra. Libras is all about the aesthetic and fashion.
Aesthetics.
Yes, and I would say a Pisces. Pisces is all about the creativity, standing out, speaking about spirituality, just being different or being musical. And then lastly, I would probably say I would actually say Taurus. So a lot of people forget that Taurus people are very talented. They may not be all out about it, but Taurus people, I would say definitely Taurus.
Thank you. I do what I can. I appreciate that.
I guess there are a lot of Tauruses who are famous. I would say Janet Jackson is probably one of the biggest ones. She's a Taurus.
Janet, you got Kalani, Chris Brown, Lizzo. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey Johnson. Who's most likely to fall in love quickly?
That would be a Pisces, a Cancer, and You know, I want to say Leo. I want to say Leo. Yeah. Especially if you're spoiling a Leo and giving them money and everything. Yeah. They're going to want, most
Alrighty,
definitely.
okay. So who's most likely for the streets? Who's most likely for the streets?
Sagittarius.
Oh.
A Sagittarius. They're a Sagittarius and an Aquarius. They both kind of operate on the same energy. They love freedom. They love independence. They like being open-minded, trying new things, just living life. Geminis. And I would also say Virgos.
I don't know many Virgos, like personally. I don't know many.
You probably know. You just don't never ask them.
They like them sneaky freaks.
Oh, sneaky.
Who's most likely to be all bark and no bite?
I would say Cancer. You know, when I think about Cancer, I think, well, I ain't gonna say he may bite because he got hitters, but I think about 50 Cent because he talks so much shit. Cancers, I would say maybe Aquarius people, Geminis, and it's between Aries and Taurus.
Okay.
Whoa, play.
He's offended by that.
Hold on, play. You might got too much dip on your chip.
It's between Aries and Taurus.
I feel like because Tauruses are loyal to a fault, sometimes we can go, me personally, sometimes I can go off on a person one day and then I forgive them and move on from it. It's hard for me to hold grudges. It depends on what it is, but it's hard for me to hold grudges for a long time.
I don't hold grudges. I'll be like, all right, cool. Good luck trying to get in contact with me.
Huh?
I think with you having a Pisces moon, it may make you more easier for you to like let it go, maybe, because you may more type of team. And then with you having a Virgo moon, you're more like, okay, cool. I don't know. You may have that revengeful behavior, like, okay, I'm gonna get back at you.
He laughing, so I guess that's a yes.
So the older that people get, do you believe that their houses may shift in any manner? For instance, saying that, okay, they have a specific sign that may be in one of the houses that should reflect how they're acting in certain situations, or when it comes pertaining to certain things that are going on. Would that change the older they get, or is that a situational thing, or is it of age thing?
It does change. Now, when it pertains to like your birth chart, what you was born as, that doesn't change. You're gonna forever be a Taurus. You're gonna forever be the sign you was born at. Whatever planets you have in your house, that's gonna forever stay there. But as you do get older, there's a thing called your progressed chart. So when you look up your progressed chart, how y'all may be a Taurus right now, I'm not sure how old y'all are, but as you get older, I believe every 25 or 30 years, you progress into the next sign. So you may progress into being a Gemini. So y'all may be stepping into Gemini energy right now, which is more sociable, talkative, curious, wanting to learn. I know I'm a Pisces, but I believe I'm 24, when I hit about 28, 29, I'm going to enter into Aries, and I'm going to tap more into my Aries energy, to where I'm going to not be water, but I'm going to be more fire now, because now I'm going to be more ambitious and more independent and aggressive. So you do change, everything change. Even your Mercury represents how you communicate. It represents how you think, how you process your thoughts. I know I was born with a Pisces Mercury, but now I have an Aries Mercury. So you may see me be a little more, I may talk faster, or I may curse you out quicker. You know what I'm saying? I may be more fiery when it pertains to how I speak. So you do change as you get older, and a lot of people forget that. That's why it's very important to pay attention to your progressed chart, because you may feel, that's another indication of where you may not feel like your sign anymore as well, because you may not be that sign. You may not be giving off that energy. You may give off your next sign energy. So you do change as you get older.
I am definitely going to put your information in the description box below so that those who are watching can book a session with you. Do you do natal chart readings? I feel like you do. No?
Yes, I have a site called Vibe with Josh.
Okay.
vibewithjosh.com, VIBE with Josh.com. And I do tarot readings, natal charts, and other things on there. It's like a whole bunch of services, but yes.
Okay. So I
Tap in with my guy.
Yes.
Tap in.
Please
Yeah.
do. I have been Dashia D.
And it's been JStan.
Join us every Friday at noon.
And always remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
All right.